if we actually want to specifically tackle Jew hatred on the left, then we literally need to relearn how to communicate this issue to America First, MAGA, Trumper, conservatives. Do you think that conservatives care that Israel has the biggest gay pride parade in the Middle East, or that Israel respects international law? No, conservatives care that Israelis are having more babies than any other developed country, and that there is a strong religious character and strong national pride, and that masculinity is still valued there. Okay, we should not be arguing when we're fighting against right-wing anti-Semitism for censorship or for content moderation on platforms. We should not be using terms like hate speech or platforming. Okay, we need to be using the language of America First, which most importantly is about how a strong Israel makes a strong America, because an empowered ally that is able to police its own region and fight our mutual enemies allows us to take out of our resources of the Middle East and redirect them towards the Indo-Pacific and be able to focus on our real existential enemy, for which Iran and Russia would not be nearly as big of threats as they are, which is the Chinese Communist Party. And so strengthening Israel strengthens America because it allows us to focus on China.
I agree with Carrie's. You know, it is, as I said, forget about anti-Semitism and people who hate us. We think as American, and we need to present the issue as American first, as Karen says. America first, we're here to protect America. And America first means strong Israel and strong America.
What those people, those three people in the Israeli American Council, Zionist Carrell and Adam Milstein. Welcome to the J.J. Carrell Show. I have watched that clip, 4 or 5 times. And each time I pick up on something else that I need to talk about. The clip's 1 minute 48 seconds. The theme that ran through that 1 minute 48 seconds is, I need you to understand, 3 Jewish people are sitting there telling us that all they need to do is lie to us. In order to get what the Jewish people in Israel, the country of Israel, what they need to do is lie to the American First rubes, phrase it in the way that they'll digest it and accept it. They're duplicitous. They're liars. They're schemers. They're every single stereotype that they fight against, captured in 1 minute 48 seconds. I don't care what you think of me, the way I speak about Israel and now Jews and talk about them, because as I put in my title, the title today, the Israel and Jew topic are now mainstream. 4 months ago, I spoke about this for the first time, like really diving into it. Endless phone calls, endless emails, people saying, I'm not going to support you anymore. Okay, well, go pound sand, take your money, go piss off. I don't care. Why? Because you made comments about Israel and the Jews. Okay. All right. I talk about Catholics. I talk about all the functionally retarded people from Somalia and the Middle East that come over here. I talk about everything. I'm not allowed to talk about Jews and Israel? Then you weren't. Now it's accepted. Just like talking about white genocide, the elimination of white people. It used to be, hey, you want to talk about white people? Then, okay, let's go in this closet and let's make sure it's airtight so no one can hear us. No, now we're like, hey, whites are being eliminated. We have destroyed white culture in America. Tucker Carlson came out today and listed all of the white cities in America in 1950 with 80 to 90%, and then relisted them in 2025 and showed that they are absolutely without white people. This is openly discussed. Same thing as the Israel topic and the Jew topic. We have these 3 Jews telling us, speaking openly, all we have to do is lie to those stupid ass American first people. Craft it in a way that our message is America first. And if I hear one more effing time that America cannot succeed without a nation, a tiny little piece of nothing nation of 9 million people. Are you kidding me? I think there's 9 million people in San Diego and LA. There's almost 8.5 million people in New York City. We don't need Israel. If Israel disappeared tomorrow, it would have a zero effect. If anything, we would be out of the Middle East and we would be saving lives and trillions of dollars. If it was reversed and America disappeared tomorrow, Israel would cease to exist within seconds. And everyone knows this to be true. It's infuriating. It's infuriating when you get slandered or you get called vile names and you're like, I'm not the one saying this. All the Jews that call me out of the blue and say, I haven't spoken to you in a year and a half, but let me tell you about Judaism and how you're wrong. How about no? How about I haven't heard from you in a year and a half? Why don't you shut up? How about that? Just like when I put up the black culture and I say, look at what they're doing crime-wise. Look at what they're destroying our culture and societal norms in the inner cities. Look at what we're doing. And what do? I play clip after clip after clip of black influencers inside the black community saying exactly what I'm saying. So am I racist and they're not? Are we both racist? We're just pointing out factual truths. And I'm going to show you several videos of commentators talking about that are Jewish, talking about Jews in Israel to prove my point. It's not me. I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm just pointing out the absurdities. If it was reversed, and I had 3 Irishmen up on there, and they were telling us, in order for America to succeed, they must be tied at the hip with Ireland. What? And then in order to push our Irish agenda, we need to speak to those idiot American first people, those rubes in Kansas and Oklahoma and Texas, and talk to them, lie to them, and craft our Irish agenda wrapped in America first. They'll never figure it out. They're so stupid. And what would I say? Well, I want to stop all aid to Ireland. You think that America's sovereignty, America's greatness, America's future prosperity is tied to Ireland? Are you out of your effing mind? We don't need Ireland. No one's screaming at me going, you're anti-Irish, you're anti-Catholic. No one. 99.9% of people go, yeah, Jay, that's a good solid take on that. Why do we don't need Ireland? So why is it when I flip it and it's about Jews and Israel, somehow I'm wrong? Somehow I'm a hate monger. I am an anti-Semite. How about I'm just showing you what they think of you? And they are Israel and the Jews. They think of you this way. I found this clip. Look, I don't even need to. When I say find a clip, let me try to explain when I say find a clip when I'm talking about this topic. Literally, I have to just go into a search engine, just search something, and it's like, okay, JJ, which of the thousands of examples do you need? I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull this up right now. This is Glenn Greenwald speaking to Tucker Carlson about how Israel exerts their power. I don't know how they have power over us, our power to destroy or limit our speech. It is maddening.
You cannot enter a discussion with an Israel defender without them immediately accusing you of being a racist if they disagree with you. Oh, you're an anti-Semite.
The red line for me is, this is my country. My birthright is free speech. God gave me that right. You cannot take it away. And if you're telling me what I'm allowed to say in my country, you're my enemy. Like, it's just kind of that simple. You can't tell me what to say or think, period, because I'm an American.
Exactly. Try and have an argument, even like a substantive civil argument, disagreement. Criticize Israel just a little bit and count down the number of seconds before you get accused of being motivated by bigotry and hatred. It'll be, seconds. And that's their only tactic, their go-to tactic. The minute you question, like, why is the U.S. financing Israel's military in its wars when it not only hurts our own country, but when millions of Israelis are having better standard of living than millions of Americans? You're a Jew hater. You hate, you have some kind of problem with Jews. So it's the same tactic there.
Do they say that to you?
Constantly. Being Jewish is not in any way, does not give you any kind of immunity from that accusation. Like,
I'm an American. Every American has the right to say exactly what he thinks at all times, period. Period. Like, I thought that was the whole point of the country.
You thought wrong, Tucker. Because our government is heavily influenced by Israeli government. Absolutely. There's no question about this. There's absolutely no question. And as Mr. Greenwald, who I like and respect, talks about Israel, he's a Jew. And like he said, he's not exempt from it. He just asked a simple question. Hold on a second. The quality of life of the Israeli Jew is better than the American. Why is that? We're funding it. Why is it when I can't even ask a question about, hey, should we have done that to Gaza? Hey, do you really need to have an AIPAC handler for every one of our senators and congressmen? Hey, why are you monitoring our speech? Oh, you anti-Semite, you bigot. No, those words don't mean anything anymore. Like a Nazi or a Hitler. What does that even mean anymore? Anti-Semite? What? Who cares? This is about truth, man. This is about speaking without a filter and having no fear. You got to fear the ADL and Greenblatt? Look, I'm not even talking. I'm just commentating on what these people are saying, what these Jews are openly saying. This Israeli government is openly saying. You don't like me, don't get mad at me. I'm not the one who said this stuff. I'm going to show you this video. If it doesn't infuriate you, I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Shulamit Alani, former Israeli Minister of Education, who won the Israeli Prize in 2000. And I'm going to quote what she's going to say. Quote, "We exploit the Holocaust and anti-Semitism to protect Israel from criticism." She continues, "It is a trick we use."
Policies of the Israeli government. People here are called anti-Semitic. What is your response to that as an Israeli Jew?
Well, it's a trick. We always use it. When from Europe somebody is criticizing Israel, then we bring up the Holocaust. When in this country people are criticizing Israel, then there are anti-Semitic. And the organization is strong and has a lot of money. And the ties between Israel and the American Jewish establishment are very strong, and they are strong in this country. As you know, they have power, which it's okay. They are talented people, and they have power, money, and media, and other things. And their attitude is Israel, my country, right or wrong, the identification. And they are not ready to hear criticism. And it's very easy to blame people who criticize certain acts of the Israeli government as anti-Semitics, and to bring up the Holocaust and the suffering of the Jewish people. And that justify everything we do to the Palestinians.
Often
It is what we justify to do the Palestinians. Now, before I continue, I want my audience to understand that I am very indifferent to Gaza and the Palestinians. Number one, I don't care. I don't care how it sounds. I don't give a shit about the Palestinians in Gaza. You know what I do give a shit about? St. Louis, Detroit, Phoenix, LA, all the dusty border towns, Philadelphia, New York City, Birmingham, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana. That's what I worry about. That's where my focus is. You want to talk about burned out buildings? You want to talk about third world hellscapes? Let's go to St. Louis. Let's go to Gary, Indiana. Let's go to Detroit. You want to build Gaza up? You want to get mad at the Jews and the Israelis for bombing people that have been lobbing bombs at them? I don't care. As I've said before, if it was the Chinese and they had their military in Tijuana and Juarez and were bombing us with the help of the Mexicans, I would want that whole nation carpet bombed. So I don't care what the Israelis are doing to Gaza, to be quite honest with you. I just don't want any part of it. I don't care. I believe Israel has the right to defend itself, and that means bombing the crap out of nations. Have at it. It ain't our problem. But because we have been lied to by our evangelical denominations about if you protect and care for Israel, then God will protect and care for you. And if you don't take care of Israel, then you'll be damned. Well, actually, it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. But I need you to hear what this lady said. Again, I'm going to read it. And I will give them credit. They just say it out loud. I don't really, you have to at least tip your hat to it. And because their formula has been working for decades. Miss Alani stated again, and I will quote, "We exploit the Holocaust and the anti-Semitism to protect Israel from criticism. It is a trick we use." It's interesting, as all of the Jewish people that, as they've been watching this show for the last 17 minutes, will say, "You are an anti-Semite." Really? Why? Because you said that we exploit the Holocaust and we always are trying to be conniving and trick you. Did you just hear the last person talk? Or the last two people? Or three people? I just regurgitated what they said. You just don't like it because I'm a white American, Christian white American. You hate me. You think I'm stupid? You think that my savior is in boiling excrement and semen? That his mother was a whore and a prostitute? No, that is my savior, Jesus Christ, and his mother is Saint Mary, the Virgin Mary. And you don't believe in the real God. You're waiting for the Antichrist. And yet you are my best friend. If my best friend mocked my religion and called me an idiot, and then told other friends, we're just going to lie to that stupid JJ, and we'll just wrap it up in his patriotism he loves, and we'll feed him all that crap. And then other friends came and got together and said, we just like to trick him. We lie to him. Then when he says something that we just don't agree with it, then we call him all kind of racial names and try to silence him. You know what I would do to those friends? They would no longer be my friends. Maybe America should start thinking in those terms. Or maybe not. Maybe not. Here's another Jew. His name is Dave Smith. And he's on Tucker, and he's talking about Netanyahu and the nation of Israel and Jews. I have just shown you 1 First clip was 3 Jews. Second clip, 1 Jew. Third clip, 2 Jews. Fourth clip, another Jew, saying exactly what I am saying. Do not kill the messenger. The message is clear as day.
Overthrowing Saddam Hussein for Israel's benefit. Like, I'm not against Israel. I'm Jewish. I like Israel. It's a cool country. The people there are great. I'm just saying that if you're America first, then the guy, Benjamin Netanyahu, the guy who testifies before Congress that we should go overthrow Saddam Hussein and launch a regime change war against Iran and launch a war in Libya, that's not your ally. The whole America first thing is that we don't think we should go fight all of these stupid wars.
Unless they help us.
Right. You know, unless there's some coherent justification for them at least. But so Donald Trump, he needs to just play. There's a few things that he could laser focus on right now. And he should. Donald Trump should be asking himself the question that Hillary Clinton asked herself in 2016, the most obnoxious question ever. But why are you not up by 50 points right now, Donald Trump? Why is that? Oh, listen, no, just run on this. No more stupid wars, period. We're not fighting any wars of choice. We are only fighting wars of necessity, which we do not have any right now. Iran, puny little Iran, is a threat to the United States of America. Give me a fucking break.
It's absurd.
Come on. This is too ridiculous. And he should, if anyone should, he should have the courage to say that.
There's no pushback from anyone.
Well, that's
on
what I'm
the question
saying.
of going to war with Iran. So if you have a highly motivated force pushing for something and there's no organized resistance to it, that force will prevail.
Yeah.
And what I see is a bipartisan push, Republican and Democrat push toward war with Iran. No even attempt to explain why this is in my interest, why I should send my 4 draft-age children to go die in Iran.
Yeah.
Not even a conversation about that. So I feel like, unless I'm missing something, we're going to get that war.
Overthrowing Saddam.
Yeah, we're going to get that war. Absolutely, we're going to get that war. And Dave Smith is 100% right. Another Jew saying that Donald Trump should say, we're not going to any wars. Israel, if you want to go bomb whoever you want to bomb, have at it. I'm not backstopping you. I'm not giving you several more billions of dollars for your Iron Dome and all the missiles and everything else. No. You get no more. I don't understand what President Trump and all of the elites in Washington, how they can't get through their thick skull. It is America first. It is America only. I don't understand. We're talking about building up Gaza now to this magnificent seaside resort. What about our American cities that have been destroyed? Why are we not funding the rebuilding of those cities? Why? Why are we so focused on the effing Middle East? I pulled up a map of the world the other day, and I tried to, and I told Gronk, give me a map of the world with the boundaries put in there, but no names. I found a map somewhere. It was either Grok or I found something on Google or something. And I tried wholeheartedly to name all the European countries, Russia, China, all the Asian Pacific, all the Kastans. I couldn't do it. It's impossible. And I do this all the time. I'm studying and researching. If I can't tell you where all the Kyrgyzstans and this stand and that stand and in Algeria and the continent of Africa and all, 99.9% of Americans can't pick out on a map where all of these countries are and why in God's name have we been at war with them all? Well, we've been at war with them all because of Israel. I think it's Dave Smith that said this. If you go to a bar every single weekend, and every single time you're in the bar with this one guy, you're always getting in a fight. And then all your friends go out the next weekend, and your friend that always gets in a fight's not there, and you have a great time and you don't get into fights. But then the next weekend he comes again, and now we're in a brawl again. Now we're all are thrown in jail. What do? Well, I'm not going out with that guy anymore. So we're tied at the hip with Israel because, of course, we can't function without Israel. America will just die without Israel. You see the absurdity of this? So why are we not telling Israel, hey, we're not going to bars anymore with you. We're not going to hang out anymore. We're not going to do anything. Because you've created absolute, utter chaos and misery for my people, the American people. We're a Christian nation. We are not a Jewish nation. We are not a Muslim nation. We're not a Hindu nation. We are a Christian nation. And all of our decisions need to be based on the Constitution and our belief in Jesus Christ. Period. I have my website and my Substack scrolled on the bottom. For any of you people that are Zionists, Christian Zionist, that want to unsubscribe, there's my website and my Substack. Go to that and unsubscribe. Because if you're going to hold your breath for me to apologize, you're going to pass out. If you want to support me, go to my website, jjcarrell.com, or go to my Substack, jjcarrell.substack.com. Just spread the word. That's all I ask. Fight the algorithm that is suppressing me on X and on YouTube. Facebook's an absolute utter joke. You can follow me at jjcarrell.com and jjcarrellsubstack.com. One of my sponsors, I'm always tell you, please go to and support the sponsors that support us. Pet Club 24/7, petclub247.com. Go to truthwithjj247.com. Pet Club, proprietary mushroom from Japan. It isolates and helps facilitate your gut and your immune system. Why do I take it? I take it because I have remdesivir and COVID pouring and coursing through my veins. And it is a way to maximize my immune system. My dog, Cinnamon, my little stripper named dog, beautiful little girl, I give her Pet Club 24/7 treats. My wife came home and said, hey, can you give Cinnamon a treat? Yep. And I pulled it out and I was like, sweetheart, is this like a chew toy? No, that's the treat. I said, it's like coated in plastic. And that's why I realized, okay, hold on a second. Not only should I be eating better and having different supplements, my dog needs to have it. Why don't I get her some treats from Pet Club 24/7 that have the immune system mushroom in it, as well as they have balms and lotions for us humans, but as well as our dogs. Go to petclub247.com, truthwithjj247.com, truthwithjj247.com. A Christian husband and wife own it. They are absolutely awesome people, and they have an incredible product. truthwithjj247.com. You know, I have this, I'm going to show this clip because Donald Trump was in Davos, and I should have clipped a bunch of his stuff because he was so beautiful. He's just beautiful. Prior to him coming on, Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, another beta piece of trash garbage like Trudeau, got up there and he gave some kind of long-winded academic speech about Trump without ever naming him. And Trump got up there and started his speech, and he said, hey, Carney, you basically, this is what he said, like literally almost what he said. You need to watch your mouth, because the only reason Canada exists is because of the United States. And I'm like, damn, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We need to act like we're the baddest mofos in the neighborhood. We can't be beat. You can't beat me up. You can't shoot me. You can't kill me. You can't do anything. I'm too big. I'm too powerful. I'm too strong. And you better bend a knee when I tell you to bend a knee. You need us. We don't need you. And I say that because for decades, we have had the most disgusting presidents that have bent over backwards, ripped our respect to shreds, allowed people and organizations and companies and nations to just rape us, not fighting back and just basically bending over and say, please, more. Not this guy, not President Trump. Those days are over. You don't have to like that he's going after Greenland. I particularly like it. And he said it's ours. We're taking it. What are you going to do? Germany, what are you going to do? You're going to send over a half a dozen soldiers? What are you going to do, Denmark? And I know that is exactly what Donald Trump is telling these people. You all exist because we just haven't decided to take it from you. That's it. That's all that there is. You exist because we decided to allow you to exist. I don't care how that sounds, that's power. That's the perception of absolute dominance. And I want that. I'm going to show you a video of Mr. Lutnick at the World Economic Forum. And I love what he says. All of you losers and your loser globalism, it's over. It's dead. America is playing no part in it anymore.
Okay. We are in Davos at the World Economic Forum. And the Trump administration and myself, we are here to make a very clear point. Globalization has failed the West and the United States of America. It's a failed policy. It is what the WEF has stood for, which is export, offshore, far shore, find the cheapest labor in the world, and the world is a better place for it. The fact is, it has left America behind. It has left the American workers behind. And what we are here to say is that America First is a different model, one that we encourage other countries to consider, which is that our workers come first. We can have policies that impact our workers. Sovereignty is your borders. You're entitled to have borders. You shouldn't offshore your medicine. You shouldn't offshore your semiconductors. You shouldn't offshore your entire industrial base and have it be hollowed out beneath you. You should not be dependent for that which is fundamental to your sovereignty on any other nation. And if you're going to be dependent on someone, it darn well better be your best allies. Okay? And so that is a different way of thinking. It is completely different than the WEF. I viewed the WEF as not a flagpole in the middle, but in fact, they are the flag. Whichever way the wind blew, so it blew. You should have solar, you should have wind. Why are you going to do solar and wind? Why would Europe agree to be net zero in 2030 when they don't make a battery? They don't make a battery. So if they go 2030, they are deciding to be subservient to China, who makes the batteries.
Isn't it amazing as I watch that clip again? It's amazing we're having this conversation. That we have to actually say this out loud, that offshoring, that ignoring your own people, ignoring the well-being of your own people, You shouldn't do that. Like, that has to be said out loud. It's like, hey, you know what? You shouldn't cheat on your wife. You shouldn't take all your money and go spend it on whores and cocaine and booze. Really? You need to tell me that? Why do you need to tell me that? Well, because you're an idiot. And you've been doing that. You've been sleeping around. You've been whoring around and snorting cocaine and doing lines off a stripper's ass. You're an idiot. That's why I'm telling you. That's what he's telling the WEF. You're idiots. You've offshored everything. We're idiots. We've offshored everything. We've ignored our own people to our peril, to our destruction. Those days are over. How refreshing it is to have people that speak about America first. Think about how far we've come as a nation, how far we have fallen as a nation, that we have to say this out loud. Like, this should be drilled into every decision that we make. It's like we having to have Donald Trump on the day that he's inaugurated, having to have the conversation to say out loud that there are only two genders. Dear God, of course there's only two genders. Of course. But we have fallen so far morally, spiritually, economically, intellectually, physically. We've fallen in this moral decay that we actually have to spend time making the announcement that there's only boys and girls, men and women. 10 years ago, that was, of course, idiot. If he said that 10 years ago, everybody would be like, what the hell is he talking about? That's how far we have fallen down the moral cesspool called the United States of America. And this is how far we have fallen when Mr. Lucknick has to come and explain what America First is. You would think that would be the common sense fallback on every decision. Hey, Bob, we're going to make this decision. Bob's first response back to, is it good for Americans? Yep, Bob, it is, because of boom, boom, boom. Bob should come around and say, excellent, let's move forward. The moment that I say, well, you know, it's Israel and Mexico, Bob would say, nope, I don't care about the Israelis. I do not care about the Mexicans, the Palestinians, the Russians, no one. I care about Americans. Wow, what a unique idea. Talk about my sponsor, SAT123. I'm going to pull this article up because what we are looking at real soon here in the Midwest, where I live, I want to show you. Let me bring this up. This is the weather map. We are going to have a massive snowstorm, blizzard conditions, inches upon inches, and it's like it's coming through the Carolinas and sweeping down the Southeast, and maybe it's going to hit Missouri and Kansas and Chicago and Minneapolis, or maybe it's not. No one knows. Everyone is just buying everything in sight. And this plays into sat123.com. Everyone's getting staples. No one is getting communications. No one's getting generators. Why? Because we're not thinking in those terms. The moment that storm flashes through the Southeast, flashes through mid-America, those trees are going to break. Those power lines are going to fall down. Those underground cables are going to freeze, snap, and you have no connectability. None. Your power's out like it did in Texas years ago for days on end. No matter how many clothes you put on, no matter how many blankets you put on, it is still below freezing in your house. Not if you have a generator. I need help. I can't get out. No one's coming. They are if you have a sat phone. So this is when I bring Chris on and we talk about this. This is absolutely being prepared. And I've said this many, many times. You don't have to be prepared through the mindset of how I see the world. But I'm telling you, we all have been through these. We all have experienced Mother Nature. Why not be prepared? Your daughter, your wife, your husband goes out. They think it's okay. They're going to school. They're going to basketball practice, voice lessons. They're going to the grocery store, and they get stuck. They get stranded. There's nowhere to reach them. A sat phone from Sat123 is free with subscription. Go to sat123.com/JJ. Just go to the website. That's my only thing, my only pitch, everybody. You don't want to you don't want to take the pitch. Just go visit their website. That's it. Because I know once you go to the website, be it Pet Club, be it Sat123, Patriots Made, you're going to understand why I sent you, and then you will purchase something that will prepare you for tough times, pivotal times in your life when you need something. And like when Pet Club, while you are struggling internally, that you need something that will give you a boost. That's why I have the sponsors I have, because they are products that I need and I believe in. Sat123.com/JJ. I really, really like this guy that I'm going to show you next. And I know I've had him on my, I've used his clips quite a bit because I love his stuff. And that is Andrew Branca. I'm going to pull him up right now. Oh, it's an empty screen, but he'll come on. And what he's talking about is the border fight is not just physical anymore. It's talking about birth tourism, mail-in ballots, paper citizenship for people. And what he's talking about is the Chinese. I'm going to show you these two videos. One's with Mr. Branca, and the other one is with Peter Schweitzer's new book called The Invisible Coup. And it's going to shock you to your core.
We all saw Biden's border madness. But what if the next invasion is invisible? Through birth tourism, over 1 million Chinese nationals born on U.S. soil could soon be voting in American elections from inside China. Meet the Manchurian generation.
You know, if you request a Minneapolis mail-in ballot, you can do it over the internet from anywhere in the world, and they'll send it to you. Did you know that?
U.S. citizens on paper who've never lived in America. Educated in CCP-controlled schools, indoctrinated against us, yet eligible to vote in our elections. #1 New York Times bestselling author Peter Schweitzer exposes the next threat we face. This isn't immigration. This is a political weapon.
It sounds pretty horrifying to me. And all we have to do to win is find the courage to retroactively apply the eradication of birthright citizenship for certain groups. And once we do it for one group, we can do it for any group. It's actually inevitable. It would be easy. We actually have means to do this. So I have a member of my family, an uncle. He was born in America. And then his father died. And his mother remarried, but she moved to Belgium. That's how he became a member of my family. My mother's family is from Belgium. And she married a Belgian there. And he was born in America to American parents. So that would qualify for birthright citizenship under U.S. law. But he left as a very small child, and he lived in Europe for 20, 30 years. And then he decided, oh, you know what? I want to do business in America as an adult. I want to do business in America. I'm going to get my U.S. citizen. I'm going to get a U.S. passport. And the U.S. government wouldn't give him a U.S. passport. The U.S. government said, well, yeah, you were born here, but you don't actually have any cultural connection to America. So we're denying you your U.S. citizenship. If it could be done for him, it could certainly be done in far more egregious cases like this. And of course, it was only a few years ago that the Democrats were all for closed borders, all for deporting illegals. But something changed. And what changed is the Democrats' realization that they've become so extreme that the American body politic will no longer vote for them. So Thea Wald writes here, for people who weren't alive to remember the politics of the early 2000s, the debate on immigration was the exact opposite of what it is today. And this is only 20 years ago. The Democrat Party viewed open borders, in the words of Bernie Sanders, as a Koch brothers proposal, that Republicans wanted to displace American workers with cheap labor at the behest of their corporate donors. The Republicans, on the other hand, were honest-to-God open borders ideologues. George W. Bush and Karl Rove had this brilliant theory that importing as many Hispanic immigrants as possible would make our country better and lead them to voting Republican forever. I think George W. Bush, isn't his wife Hispanic? Then at some point, Democrats realized the only way they could continue to win elections is by changing the demographics of the country. And then a businessman from New York, Trump, came along to save the GOP from its pathetic leaders of the past. It still is largely their leadership.
He's right. And I'm going to show you a video from the Benny Johnson's show with Peter Schweitzer. And what Mr. Branca was talking about is the birthright citizenship that Peter Schweitzer has uncovered, that the birth tourism from the Chinese nationals that come here, give birth in America to get citizenship, and they bring their children back to China. There will be in 2030 1 million Chinese nationals / U.S. citizens that will be able to vote in our election. Mr. Branca just said, if I'm out of state or out of the nation, and I want a mail-in ballot, then I just notify Minnesota and they mail it to me. They mail my ballot overseas. We no longer have real elections. Our elections are frauds, absolute 100% frauds, and we allow foreign nationals to vote in our elections. How in God's name do we allow this to happen? It's a slippery slope. It's a Trojan horse. We brought in tens of millions of third world savages. Those third world savages find the smartest of the retarded people that we brought in, and they vote for them. They become their sheriffs, city council, mayor, school board, congressman. And then the game is on. And that's what we are living through today. We have allowed our enemies into America and then allowed them to vote and allowed them to take over our governments. I'm telling you something that I believe in the depth of my soul. If there is not drastic, and I'm talking drastic, measures taken, our nation will die. Or our nation will go headfirst into a kinetic physical war that no one wants. Those are the only two options. Let's listen to what Peter Schweitzer says. I like his books. I'll tell you right now, whatever he writes, go get, because it's excellent.
So it's like this full state operation that exists outside of the American justice system. Is this what you found in your book?
Yeah. It's a parallel structure, and it's an intrusion in our sovereignty. I mean, imagine if we had American members of Congress and U.S. senators who lived in Canada, and their job was to represent Americans in Canada. Canada would not tolerate that for a second, and yet we are allowing Mexico to do that. You mentioned China. China is doing similar things, not only the infrastructure that you talked about, but they've created an industrial scale model to exploit birthright citizenship in this country. You know, birthright citizenship, Supreme Court is going to hear the case. Somebody is in the United States at the time, they give birth, that child is automatically given U.S. citizenship. Our federal government, Benny, has zero idea how many people have been born this way in the country because we don't keep records. If you get a birth certificate that your child is born in the United States, which makes them a citizen, we don't list the national origin or the citizenship of the parents. So our federal government has no idea. The Chinese government has actually looked into this because the Chinese government encourages members of the Chinese elite to do this in the United States. And the numbers that they come up with are absolutely stunning. And it's another example of this immigration subversion. The Chinese government believes that for every year over the last 13 years, roughly 100,000 Chinese nationals a year have been born in the United States. They are then taken back to China. So think about this. You're looking at more than 1 million U.S. citizens. I'm going to put that in air quotes. They are U.S. citizens, according to this claim about birthright citizenship, but they're being raised in China. They're going to CCP schools. They are members of the elite. Their parents are military officers, intelligence officers, propagandists for the CCP. When they turn 18, Benny, they're going to be able to vote. They're going to be able to donate to political campaigns. They're going to be able to get government jobs. They're going to be able to do a whole host of things. Keep that in mind, more than 1 million when the 2016 election with Hillary Clinton was settled by 80,000 votes. So China's doing this in a different way than Mexico, but it's very, very similar in their goal, which is to chip away at our sovereignty and to wage what I argue is civilizational warfare on the United States.
How does that make you feel? Feel secure? Do you think this is by accident? Are you that naive? You can't possibly be that naive. You just can't. We're here in this position in America because we're become gutless. We become impotent. We become the problem. We no longer fight. We no longer fight for what we want to preserve, because we've been so afraid to be called those horrible names: racist, Nazi, xenophobe, anti-Semite. I really feel as if that is changing. Is it changing fast enough? No, it's not. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you Exhibit A of an example of how impotent we are as an American man. More specifically, Christian American men. I call them CAMs, CAMs. The Christian man has allowed the most vile, the most evil, the most sexually perverse among us to do whatever the hell they want. And they silence us, not with guns, not with violence, with words, with shame. They minimized our God. They minimized him so much that he was insignificant and has become insignificant in our culture, in our world. And our men lost the will to fight. And I'm going to show you this video. It's hard to watch. This is the video from Minnesota, in the city's church in St. Paul, Minnesota, where 30 to 40 people stormed a religious ceremony, church, and made everyone run away. Kids were crying. Women were scared. And where the hell were the men? Where the hell are all the men?
Renee Good! Renee Good! Renee Good!
As we go through this, I want you to count how many specifically white men sit there frozen in fear.
Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are your people? Why are you not at Whipple every day fighting for the humanity, standing for our people? Where are you? You drink your coffee, you got your jewelry, you have your nice clothes, but what do you do? What do you do to stand for your...
Can you imagine being a young, I can remember being that age, 18, 19, 20. Maybe that's his girlfriend, maybe that's his sister. If that was my girlfriend or my sister, I would have already caved that man's skull in. There would be blood everywhere. In the name of God, I would kill him in that church. Do you think I'm going to sit there and let some dude berate my sister or my girlfriend or his wife? What happened? What happened, young man? Did you get castrated at birth? Were you transitioned?
Somali and Latino communities. You have no comment. Exactly. Renee, good. Renee, good. Freedom. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. All these comfortable white people who are living lavish, comfortable lives while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're living real life, nice lives with your lattes, doing absolutely nothing for your Latino and Somali brothers and sisters. You come here to a man wearing a suit as a preacher. Did Jesus wear a suit? Did Jesus profit off the words? No, Jesus would dine with immigrants. You do not touch me. Touch me again and see what happens. Hey, you are a fake Christian. Why are you not standing with your Somali and Latino communities? Why?
I would never have said one word. I wouldn't have said a word. Let's continue.
Why do I not see you out at Whipple every day protesting this attack on humanity? Where are you? You're sinners. You're pretending to be Christians. But we know you live an easy life, don't you? A very easy life while people are starving.
This is the problem with Christians. We have been propagandized to believe that Jesus Christ was a sissy, was a gay Jesus that was effeminate, just like these boys are. Just like these boys.
Shame! Out now! Out now! Living real comfortable while the people starve. Living real comfortable while children are dragged into concentration camps. You're all living real comfortable, aren't you? Shame on you. Do something. Stand with the Somalis. Stand with the Latinos. Quit ignoring this injustice. He wears a suit and tie and he hangs out with Christy Nome. How is that a Christian? You're supposed to accept all immigrants, are you not? Why are you not going down to Whipple and joining us in protest against this inhumanity? You claim to be a Christian.
Why would anybody tolerate this man? I had my wife and my son watch this video. I said, this is what we have talked about before. And I said, what will happen if this happens in our church? Because my Catholic church, the cams that are there are many, many cams like me. I told my wife and my son, you know the drill, what you have to do. I will walk into the front, the very front of that line, and I will punch with all of my might into the face of the very first person that's leading them in. I will cave that person's face in. They will need reconstructive surgery. And in God's holy name, I will do that over and over and over again until I'm exhausted and pass out. And all the other cams will be right beside me, destroying these people. But in these religious sects, and in my Catholic faith as well, we don't have strong cams. We have impotent, afraid, scared little bitches. God is disgusted with those people. Where are all the effing men in this country? Where are they? I don't know.